Mr. District Attorney. Champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And it shall be my duty as district attorney not only to prosecute to the limit of the law all persons accused of crimes perpetrated within this county, but to defend with equal vigor the right and privileges of all its citizens.
I'm gonna hunt him down, track him, get on the downwind side. He's my meat, all mine. I'm gonna line him up in my sights and watch him drop with a slug right through the heart. They're all so smart. They stick us in here and expect us to rot. All you guys take it and shut up. Not me, not Dan Ramsey. I'm gonna pay off. Big. Pay off Paul Garrett. Big man. Red-hot DA. Well, there's gonna be a big difference between us. He's gonna be dead. And I'm gonna be laughing. Paul Garrett, dead. Paul Garrett, dead.
Come in.
Morning, Paul.
Hi, Danny. What's up?
You really reading that book, or is there a science fiction magazine in it?
No, I'm just picking up some background on the Spencer case. We go to trial tomorrow morning.
Hate to bother you, Paul, but something's come up.
Shoot.
Captain Delaney called me this morning.
Oh, how is Tony?
Sends his badge to you, and also one of his informants.
You think we'd be interested?
Yes, so do I.
Well, stop looking so serious. Bring him in. Let's get the story.
Come on in, Cricket. Right over here, Cricket.
Yeah, sure.
Sit down, Cricket.
Thanks.
Paul, this is Cricket Folder. Cricket, this is District Attorney Garrett.
Yeah, I know. I've heard all about him.
Now, what was the story you were telling Captain Delaney?
Well, you see, I work for the captain. Well, not on the regular city payroll, but every once in a while I hear a rumble. You got a cigarette, Mr. Simmons? Thanks, Mr. Garrett. The last couple of days I've been hearing news from the pen.
Some of your friends get out lately?
Yeah, these guys kind of laughed it up, but I figured I ought to pass it on anyway, to the captain.
What did they say? Let's get with it.
Well, it's a guy by the name of Ramsey. Dan Ramsey.
Tried and convicted 2 years ago, first-degree burglary.
That's right. I asked for a 24-hour continuance to get more evidence.
Right. His friends got to our witnesses, got him out of town. You went out and found another witness.
This guy Ramsey. He says he's going to kill you when he gets out.
Well, that's part of my job, Cricket. There's a lot of people who'd like to kill me.
This wasn't the ordinary conviction. You really went out of your way to convict Ramsey.
I didn't go out of my way, Danny. I do the same in any case.
And the way this guy talks, I'd say he was going to try it when he gets out.
Well, thanks for telling us the story, Cricket. If you hear any more, let us know.
Sure, Mr. Garrett, sure. Like I say, I'm always willing to help the law. Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think, Danny?
Ramsey's the kind of a guy who gets things done.
Yes, he got our witnesses, didn't he?
Exactly.
How long has he got to serve?
I checked this morning, 2 more years.
What about parole?
Eligible in 1 year.
Ah, threats are a dime a dozen.
Tony and I think Ramsey means this one.
We'll just have to wait and see. Well, here it is. The long shot. The 1 in a million death threat that might mean something. Danny won't like it, but I feel I ought to talk to Ramsey. Talking a man out of a killing is worth the effort. Even more when you're the guy he plans to kill. I want to see him alone, Danny.
Isn't that a little silly?
Well, Ramsey's smart. He'll talk freely if there's no witness.
Is that the reason you asked for the council room?
Yeah.
Certainly your baby, Paul.
It sure is, isn't it?
The guard will be right outside in case you need him.
Fine.
Come on in, Ramsey.
The warden should have told me who it was. I'd have dressed formal.
Oh, I asked him not to say anything.
What's on your mind, Garrett?
Sit down.
I'll stand if you don't mind. I don't get many chances to stretch my legs.
I've been hearing rumors, Ramsey.
I ain't been keeping any secrets.
Why do you want to kill me?
I hate your guts.
Enough for murder?
Look at me. You can see how much.
But to do anything about it would be stupid.
My mother always said I wouldn't come to a good end.
When you get out of here, you've got a chance to stay out.
Listen, Garrett. You went to a lot of pains to put me in here. Well, I'm gonna take a lot of trouble, too. To pay off.
You're heading for an execution, Ramsey.
Everybody dies, Garrett. Even you.
But to kill me, what are you going to get out of it?
I'm gonna get you and get away with it. I like things neat and tidy. I like the books balanced. You buried a knife in my back and I'm paying off. In spades.
I'm sorry for you, Ramsey. I wouldn't want to live with what you have inside of you.
I'm not kicking. I'm glad we had this talk. Hope you have a good night's sleep, Mr. Garrett. I'm gonna have the best one I had in years tonight. I'll be seeing you, pal.
Well?
Well, he's smart. But he's foolish if he tries this, Danny.
I talked to the prison psychiatrist. He's going to keep tabs on him.
Fine.
Paul, do you really think he's going to try to get you?
I don't know. We'll just have to wait to see. Hello.
Listen carefully, Paul. Don't turn on the lights until you pull your drapes.
Is that why you call me in the middle of the night?
Paul.
Do you realize it's only 3 o'clock in the morning?
Also, make sure your doors are locked. I'm sending King and Rollins over right now. Open the door to them and no one else.
Look, Danny, call up a good psychiatrist. Make an appointment for yourself first thing in the morning. Good night.
Paul, Dan Ramsey just escaped from the penitentiary.
Wait a minute. When?
About 2 hours ago. It came in on an APB. One of Delaney's boys called me.
Well, since Ramsey's made this a personal matter, we'll help the police put him back in prison. I'll be right over. Meet you in the office in a half hour.
Wait for King and Rollins.
Of course I'll wait for them. I'm too sleepy to drive myself. I haven't worn this for 6 years. Well, if Ramsey is after me, carrying this thing will put me 1 grade above a sitting duck. I'll be a sitting duck who can fight back.
Same old stuff. If we pinned every place Ramsey's been on the state map, we'd have a pin cushion.
He'll pay us a visit, even if it's just to make me sweat.
Hello, Paul. Danny?
You in the habit of getting people out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, Captain Delaney?
No, only those who aid and abet a criminal to escape. Say, what did you do when you visited Ramsey? Slip him a gun?
Sure. A gun, key to the main gate. How did he break out?
Well, as near as I can figure, he'd planned this break for months. Inside and outside help. They cut the main power line to the penitentiary. Ramsey made the break under the cover of the blackout.
You know, if he's really made up his mind to eliminate me, he's going to be hard to stop.
Well, your apartment building is getting a 24-hour stakeout, and you are getting a full escort.
Look, Tony, let's not spend the taxpayers' money covering me like a blanket. Let's spend it catching Ramsey.
Same thing, Paul. Protecting you, catching Ramsey, it's the same job.
Not only that, but the chief issued the order. You couldn't do anything about it now if you wanted to.
The chief of police of our fair city is a worrywart. You may quote me.
That's all right. He thinks you're a regular Sir Lancelot. Only this time, a coat of armor won't help.
You two are through giving each other the business. Let's take a look at Ramsey's package.
All right. As long as Ramsey is on the loose, I'll be a goldfish in a bowl. But in another way, this is good. They'll set a trap for Ramsey. And this time, they have the perfect bait.
Hope we can get some lead on how he's going to try to get Paul.
Well, I've got a call in for the arresting officers who brought him in 3 years ago. They'll tell us what they know about him.
I phoned the prison. They're going to send up all the rest of the records. I'll talk to the prison psychiatrist later this morning.
We'll have statistics give us a breakdown on the whole case.
It's a good idea. Why don't you go on?
How do I get it over to Tony and Danny? We want Ramsey because he's an escaped convict, not because he intends to kill me. A fine distinction, but an important one, to me in the case.
Somewhere along the line, Ramsey's going to have money and clothes.
As soon as we run known associates from the package, I'll have men on them. Ramsey will find it pretty tough to do business at the old spot.
Well, he's been a pretty busy boy. He's racked up quite a record for himself.
Yeah. Burglary, robbery, pushing narcotics, counterfeit, forgery.
One of the state's more talented citizens.
Oh, in case you boys are worried about me, I've just noticed something here.
What?
Well, he's smart, tough, and hard to convict. But he's never gone in for violence.
You're right. He didn't hurt anybody on the break last night.
I think he's bluffing.
Well, the police department, Paul, is working on the idea that you're wrong. They're working on the idea that he's going to try to kill you.
Everything on Ramsey screams brains, brains.
Yes, he sure covered the field of crime, all right.
This all points to a guy with too much good sense to stick his neck out with murder.
You know, there's a very interesting thing about criminals, Danny. They have ambitions, too. They want to get ahead in their chosen careers like the rest of us.
So?
Well, if you think about it like that, the top job is just one step below murder.
How's he going to do the job? How?
Well, the report says he has a love of guns. Almost a sportsman's love. Foreign makes, more expensive kind.
Ever stop to think that's going to make it tough on you?
Sure, but the odds of a fatal hit are small. It's much harder to kill a man with a gun than most people think.
Ramsey's not the killer type. He doesn't fit into the pattern anywhere along the line.
Come in.
Well, we've got our first line on Ramsey. He's in town.
What's wrong, Tony?
He killed Dick Evans and seriously wounded Harvey Denton.
I'm sorry to hear that. How's Denton?
Slugged through the chest. Doc says he'll live. He was conscious long enough to tell me it was Ramsey.
So he's turned killer.
I guess we were just daydreaming, Danny.
From now on, you take the full protection treatment and like it.
How did it happen?
Hot shop, east side of town. Evans and Denton walked in. Ramsey started shooting, got away clean. Took some dough from the cash register, a new overcoat, a hat, and some guns.
What kind?
A couple of German Lugers. He's getting just what he wants to set up a try at you, Paul.
We've got to catch this killer before he kills somebody else. And we've got me, the bait. Well, let's get him.
Take care of him. Let's get off of the street, Paul.
He's got no place to go, Paul. My men are covering every man, woman, and child he ever knew. I've got stakeouts in every joint he ever went in. Every informant in town is floating with just one thing in mind, Ramsey.
He opened up out there without caring whether he killed innocent people or not. This man's a personal issue with me, Tony. I want him. He's out there somewhere, and he's all twisted up. He's changed from the careful criminal who never used violence to a man who doesn't care how many people get hurt.
We'll get him. This mess may make him chicken out. I've got an APB out on him. We're covering the airport, the railroad terminal, and the bus depots.
I don't think he'll chicken out, Tony. I think he'll stay here and do his job. We'll just have to do our job faster and better.
Where are you going, Paul?
Court. I've got a trial this morning.
You think you should, Paul?
I've got to show up. I can't let the papers print a story that Ramsey scared me out of court. Hello. Yes, just a minute. See you.
This is Captain Delaney. All right. Call the district cars in. Send me Peters and Jackson. I want them in court. The district attorney has decided to go ahead with the case. The cruiser lost Ramsey. He abandoned the car. Make it tough on him to pick up another one. Oh, okay. Cricket's outside. Maybe he knows something.
Come in.
Glad to see you're okay, Mr. Garrett. Pretty close, huh? You must carry a rabbit's foot.
What's on your mind, Cricket?
I got news about our friend. A pal of mine was steering for handouts on 18th Street and seen him.
Ramsey?
Yeah, he followed him.
Where'd he go, Cricket?
Stimson's gun shop.
More artillery.
My pal nosed around quiet-like.
Did you see what he picked up?
Yeah, Ramsey bought a nice rifle and a telescopic sight.
Anything else?
I don't guess I gotta draw no pictures.
Did Stimson know who his customer was?
Nah, he don't ever do business with no hot customers.
That's what I've always heard.
You want to know where Ramsey holed up last night?
Pick up Joseph Stimson, the gun shop on North 18th Street. Questioning. He just sold a rifle with a telescopic sight to Ramsey. Get the full dope on the gun. Range, type, shells, full coverage on the sights. The whole bit, right. So where did he sleep last night?
318 West 5th.
Be seeing you, Cricket. Thanks.
Right.
Mike, Tony, send a car to 318 West 5th. I just got a tip Ramsey holed up there last night.
Our boy's getting to be quite a handful.
How about your apartment, Paul? What's the window set up?
Let's see. The windows are all on the street. There's a hotel directly across the street and apartment buildings on both sides.
We'll go over your building and the hotel with a fine-tooth comb. We'll check every room and every guest. Oh, is he being a good boy, Danny?
I'd say so. He hasn't tried to shake his two shadows yet.
I'll watch it. You know, if you got knocked off, the department would get an awful black eye. I'll have men at both entrances. We've already gone through all the rooms on this side of the hotel, and nobody gets up these stairs or elevators without a frisk.
How about the apartments?
Well, they're both a bad angle for a rifle, even with a scope sight, but I'm covering them anyway.
You think you'd try this?
I'm not thinking anything, Danny. We cover everything he might do, even the stuff that sounds screwy. And Paul is riding in a police car from now on. I've locked his car up. Ramsey might just load it with soup and wiring.
Ramsey knows he has us on the hot seat.
How was Paul when you left?
You know that big lug. Won his case in court this morning, hands down.
No nerves, huh?
No. A little bit. He did zip his tie up in the briefcase.
Sorry to do this, honey, but I need your room. Wish I had time to be sociable. I ain't seen nothing like you in 3 years.
Stay out here while I look around, Paul. Okay, all clear.
Well, let's close the drapes and order something to eat. I'm starving. Hey, Danny. I think I saw something.
What was it?
It looked like a reflection in one of those dark rooms.
Which window?
Well, down if I can tell now.
I'll send one of the men to tell Tony.
Wait a minute. Maybe we can flush Ramsey out ourselves. What do you think?
I think it's worth every day of the 7 years bad luck if it works.
Let's try it. All right, now. Move it out just a little bit. A little more. Yeah, that's it. Now hold it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Third floor, center. There's the rifle, Paul. There's your killer.
Okay. You want things cleaned up? I knocked off the cop in the hock shop. I missed, huh?
You broke a mirror, Ramsey.
Funny. I don't think the 7 years bad luck will make much difference anymore.
I tried to tell you you couldn't get away with it, Ramsey.
Had you shaken in your boots, didn't I, Garrett?
Every man, woman, and child is a little safer down there now. And they don't know it. They don't feel any different. But I do. You'll be with us again next week at this time when we bring you an entirely different type of story of Mr. District Attorney